let's get into it. What is brand strategy? Brand strategy is a specific plan of action to build the reputation or influence a result of an organization or a business in a positive light. I'll say this again. So if we're talking about brand strategy, that's our topic for today, right? Brand strategy is a specific plan of action to build a reputation or to influence a result, of an organization, business in a positive light. A brand can also be part of a product as well, right? Product or service. But it's a specific plan of action. So if you break it down into two things, a strategy is a specific plan of action. And a brand, is think about it as a reputation or how your customers or your clients think about your organization itself, your business itself, the product itself, and so forth. So for those who know me, know that I like to start with a definition, a clear definition that allows us to kind of make sure we're all on the same page. So, hello, I'm Dr. M. Stolard, Entrepreneurial Strategist, helping cultivate brand clarity for community organizations and those that create social impact. And we do this through strategy. So today we're discussing what is brand strategy. Brand strategy sits under the umbrella of marketing, okay? Now, there's a big thing about marketing versus branding, but today we're just going to specifically talk about branding itself. But just to define marketing real quick, marketing is the act of bringing awareness to your product, to your service, to your organization or business as a whole, right? So marketing is the act of bringing awareness to your product, your service, your organization or business as a whole, okay? So let's get into it. So today, just to keep it simple, we're going to do it journalistic style, okay? So now you know this. You would know that if you speak to different people, the chances are you're going to get various different understanding, various different definitions and explanations of what brand strategy is. So I gave you my definition, so let's move forward. But when we do this journalistic style, talking about the who, what, where, when, and how. That's kind of how we're going to break it down today, just to kind of keep it simple and easy for all of us to to understand. So who is brand strategy for, right? I'm not a fan of using everyone as an answer, but I will say all businesses, organizations, entrepreneurs should engage and should be engaging in brand strategy, right? Especially if you are just starting out, or recently launched your business. Your business, if it's new, you're going to want to intentionally work on the brand strategy. You want to try to put out there an intentional brand of what you want your potential clients, what you want your audience, and those out there to know, and not just know, but feel about your business. Okay. So now so let's get into it some more. Okay, so we did the who, and we kind of already did the what as well. The what is what we said in the very beginning, brand strategy. What is brand strategy? A specific plan of action to build the reputation or influence a result of an organization or business in a positive light. And also influence how your customers and clients think about your organization too. That's also another component of it, right? Serious component. So again, when I work with a client or customer, the question I want to ask first is, to gain clarity, is what is the goal, right? What is the result? What is the result that you and your product or your service are wanting to get to? What are you trying to achieve at this particular point, right? Now, what makes brand strategy great is that as a strategist, you can have various focuses, various areas of focus, right? You have various areas of focus. Some areas of focus could be considered creative, right? Or even automotive. It could be restaurants, for example, right? Maybe that's where you focus on. Maybe you focus on the types of restaurants, whether you do high-end restaurants or you focus on a certain type of cuisine, right? For me, my area of focus tends to work mostly with community organizations. Those that want to create social impact. So you kind of hear me say that phrasing a lot, right? And if you look back at the people that literally have contracted me or hired me to work on certain stuff, there's usually some type of social impact related, community organizations related, maybe even some in the mental health space are related. Those have kind of been my areas of focus that I've been blessed to work with those kinds of people, those kind of people who provide that kind of service, right? So I've worked with, like I said, I've worked with individuals who operate in the mental health space, and those who may also, there's another term, social enterprise space as well, right? When you're working with me, one of the items we like to go over to make sure that, that you are focusing on the right thing, is to work on your position, right? Or in some case, repositioning. Positioning is where you as an organization or a product sits in the mind of the customer, right? Repositioning is to intentionally change the direction or perception of you, your organization, your product, your service, right? Repositioning is to intentionally change the direction, intentionally change the perception of you, your organization, your product, or your service. That means you're going on a particular path, and you decide to make a change, so you're going down a different path. You made an adjustment, right? And again, so that's repositioning. And positioning is where your organization sits in the mind of the customer. So, for example, if you think of a luxury vehicle, right? Or if I say high-end vehicles, there's certain vehicles that come to mind, right? Maybe it's Lexus, maybe it's Bugatti, Bentley, whatever the case may be, And so you, as a person who wants to be in control of the brand, at least initially when you're first starting out, when you're first launching your business, you want to position your product, your service, your organization to be at a certain position. So if you want to be considered a high-end position, that means you have to operate like that. You have to speak like that. You have to make sure that you articulate and speak in that kind of language. If you're focusing on low prices, like say the Walmarts of the world, there's nothing wrong with focusing on that, but then that's the kind of language you want to speak. So, if you're focusing on community organizations, you're going to talk about charities and nonprofit organizations and social enterprise and doing good for others. That means, yes, you may have to talk about the bottom line, making money, but you want to also be able to talk about doing good for others. Okay. So I hope that makes sense for everybody. I hope that's being clear for you. Now, if you move forward, we talk about where is brand strategy conducted? Well, this is why you hire brand strategists, right? The where begins with determining your organizational goal, right? What is the result you want to achieve? And is that your specific, and is that with your specific product, your specific service, or your overall community organization, right? So that's that part. The next part is the where. Where is to determine your specific target market, right? What is the audience of focus what is the audience of focus, right? When we get into this, it can be a little heavy if need be, right? And so I want to make sure we kind of explain this in a way that's easily understandable. So again, when we're talking about the where, the next part of the where is to determine your specific target market, right? What is the audience of focus? We can get into that kind of heavy if need be, but if you heard the term or the phrase ideal client, or the ideal customer, the person or the set of individuals who you feel would be a great fit for your particular product or service, right? That's where that falls in the line, right? That's where, when you're conducting the where of the brand strategy, then your brand strategist or the person you may hire to help you with that is going to be able to help you to ask the right questions so you can focus on your specific target market. So you're making sure you're advertising, you're marketing your business, you're branding your business in the area that's going to be the most attractive and the most easily recognizable for the people that are a true fit for your organization, which is why you have to take time to learn about your organization. You learn about the people who are your customers, your clients. It's called a persona, right? So you should have an ideal persona. But I always say you should have one male, one female, but sometimes it's okay if you focus on one gender because that one gender may be the ideal fit, right? So next we talk about when. The when. When is brand strategy necessary, right? When is brand strategy necessary? Well, one component is to conduct brand strategy in the middle of a crisis, right? So we're talking about a crisis. That's where the brand strategy was truly, truly necessary, right? If you're in the middle of a crisis, that's something you want to kind of focus on. That'll be the time and the when you want to focus on it. If you're new to me, I've done an entire series dedicated to conducting and formulating a brand strategy in a crisis. So you can check that out. It's got about 14, 15 videos on there. So, but also keep in mind that, when you conduct a brand strategy, you can do this when you are first launching your business, right? So when are you conducting your brand strategy? When you're first launching your business, you create that specific plan of action to help formulate the reputation that your organization or your product, that you want your product or your organization to have, right? Okay, that's why sometimes you may see people who they're doing a particular launch, they may wear the same clothing. If there's 4 or 5 members on the team, they're going to wear the same clothing, right? Because they're trying to create a mindset so they will be remembered. I hope that makes sense, right? And the thing is, you want to be intentional, about the reputation your product, your organization is building. That's why the win is so important. You want to be intentional about the reputation your product or your organization are building. So, but why is brand strategy so important? Why is brand strategy so important? Well, it helps you to understand your clients and your customers better, which creates loyalty, right? Which creates loyalty. Especially if you're a nonprofit organization, if you can get the why, understanding why your brand strategy is so important, then, you're the people who are, I say clients and customers, but in your case, it may be people who are donators, who are volunteers, who are staffers, right? If you can understand who they are, it's going to help so you can better serve them, those who are serving others. You can create better loyalty, So which helps for you or the person using brand strategy to gather repeat business, right? So if you are able to truly articulate and understand the why of the brand strategy, then it's going to help you when it comes to repeat business or getting people to continue to donate to your organization, to your charity, right? This is something that's super important and super key, and through brand strategy, if it's done effectively, it can help the organization to articulate, articulate the reputation and the different things. So, one of the things to also take in consideration is that brand strategy, when it's done effectively, it can help the organization to better articulate and show the type of organization that it is, and why that organization exists, why that organization chose to work with those set of people to service those types of that service that particular community. Properly branding specifics of your organization is good for your unique selling proposition. Helps to really separate yourself from the other organizations, right? You don't want to just be one of many people who are receiving donations from charitable goods, because people can obviously choose to do other things with their money, right? So you want to truly, truly be able to understand the why by being able to articulate, what makes your organization stand out. So the how. How, again, this is why you would reach out to our brand strategist, right? To help you with that. Something that I would do, or I refer to myself as an entrepreneurial strategist, because a lot of people that I work with tend to be in the early stage of starting their business, but that's completely fine. But if you truly want to know how, then you should check my other videos, right? Check out the podcast and the videos that I've posted, and that'll kind of help you to how with the brand strategy. I don't want to waste a lot of your time here doing that, but I do have the content out there for you, and so it's something that I definitely encourage you to check out. So, but why would you want to conduct brand strategy? In other words, what is the purpose? The purpose is to, like what we've been saying, to better understand your organization, to better understand how your organization serves others, to better understand the direction that your organization is heading. We talk about how to do a brand strategy. It comes down to simply asking the right questions. Asking the right questions in order to help, your customers, your clients, the people who you serve, right? Achieve whatever their goal is. You have to be able to understand and ask the right specific questions, because in the case of community organizations, the people who are donating money may have different goals than the people who are needing the service of your nonprofit, right? And you want to make sure you articulate that clearly. So I hope this makes sense. Hope this made sense to you. Remember, it helps when you define the meaning of the brand strategy. We talked about that in the very beginning. If you are truly defining the meaning of your brand, then you are in the right place. You're on the right track. So that's all I have for you today. I am Dr. M. Stolard, and remember to keep pushing forward to drive your influence and be intentional by using strategy. All right. I'll take it easy.